Hi, it's Dr. Hood. I want to give credit to people who've taken control of their health, decided that they want to change the way they look, change the way they feel, optimize their health, correct their diet, correct their exercise. And credit is due because it's easy to be unhealthy. It's easy to not care at all about what you eat and not to do any exercise to help to improve your fitness or care about the long-term effects of a poor diet and other poor health choices. However, if you don't want to be that person, you want to be the person that wants to optimize their health, wants to get lean, wants to correct their metabolism. Don't let that be a distant memory. Don't let that be your legacy, if legacy is that important, but your legacy that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you managed to lose weight and that's it, and then you regained it, and then your diet suffered and your exercise was non-existent and you're back to your normal unhealthy self. Don't let that be a distant memory. It's quite an achievement to have lost weight, to have made changes to your diet, to have temporarily changed the way that you eat and the way that you exercise. But don't let that be a distant memory, because it is an achievement, but it's not really an achievement if all you've done is for 6 to 10 weeks, cut out foods, so gone on a low calorie diet, done very high intensity exercises, or done several trips to the gym because your motivation is high, achieve the body that looks good and also feels good, but then lost it all soon after when life got in the way. It's not like, for example, running a marathon or, for example, climbing a mountain. If you do that, if you train for that, and then you manage to run that marathon or climb that mountain, and then you never do it again, it's still an achievement. You've done something, and you can always say, well, I completed the London Marathon, I completed the Boston Marathon, I climbed Mount Everest, for example. And if you never do it again, that is still an important achievement. However, having just lost weight once and had a beach perfect body in quotation marks, and then never stuck, and then gone back to an unhealthy looking body, it's not much of an achievement. And the reason that happens is because people make drastic changes which are unsustainable. Often they'll cut out, they'll use the approach of eat less, move more, counting their calories, try to just maintain a calorie deficit without trying to change their habit, without looking at the foods that nourish them, the foods that fill them up, the foods that reduce inflammation, the foods that prevent overeating. For example, if you're not eating fats and proteins, then you won't get full and you end up snacking on processed carbohydrates. When you only focus on calories, you end up eating processed carbohydrates which are lower in calories, such as crisp breads and rice cakes and pasta. And that's what happens when you take the wrong approach. All that'll happen is it becomes a legacy of yours. You've lost the weight, you've achieved that body, but then it goes because you haven't developed a sustainable habit. And the same goes for exercise. If you follow a program where you have to go to the gym 4 days a week for 8 weeks, and then suddenly you get busy, then you're not able to sustain that for a long period of time. So what do you need to do in order for your weight loss, the moment in which you lost weight and you got lean and you got fit, not to be a one-off? It can be a distant memory. Ideally, you've made the decision to lose weight and correct your diet, correct the way you eat, and correct the way you exercise, so it's sustainable and optimal. And that, let's say you did it 10 years ago and you're still doing it, that's the ideal situation. What you need to do, you need to change the way you approach food. You need to maximize the nutrient-dense foods, minimize foods that increase inflammation, and stimulate insulin, stimulate your hormones in your liver, and not obsess over calories, so that the way you approach food when it comes to your breakfast, lunch and dinner, the way you approach food at work, the way you approach food when you eat out, is all in the same manner, and it becomes a habit, so that even when life gets in the way, when life gets busy, when life gets stressful, which it will do, you still have that default habit, and then you can easily get back to it, and it won't impact your weight, it won't impact your health at the same time. And the same goes for exercise. Remember, exercise only forms about 20% of your weight loss and health goals. The same goes for exercise. If you learn how to do exercises that you can do anywhere, that are sustainable but don't require complex equipment, then again, when you are busy or not able to get to the gym, then you're able to carry out a brief but intense workout in a hotel or in somebody else's house, or on holiday even. But if you're too busy even to exercise, your baseline still becomes your diet, which keeps you lean. So don't let your journey to a healthier body, which is never ending, you have to keep going, don't let that be a distant memory. Let that be the starting point of your journey to a leaner and healthier body, which you still will continue to work and to maintain.